Hey guys, we are back with another one, a CCH interview, which is part of our outreach series. For those who don't know, my name is Aaliyah. I am a CCA intern and a junior at St. Peter's University in Jersey City, New Jersey. As you know, I am majoring in biology, aspiring to become a craniofacial surgeon. I too was born with a facial difference called Golden-Har syndrome that came with a long road of surgeries, therapies, and a lot of rehabilitation, which you guys already know already, and never stopped me from achieving any of my goals. So today I am joined with Miss Erin from Richmond. Erin is a mom and educator from Baltimore, Maryland. She is married and a boy mom of 3. Her life experiences have inspired her to work with others in the disability community. She currently teaches in the Department of Special Education at Towson University. So welcome, Erin. It is a pleasure to have you on our series.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for joining us. So, my first question for you is, we're going to start off with, tell us about a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Erin. You already introduced me, but I am married to my husband, Kevin. We are getting ready to celebrate our 12th wedding anniversary. And we've been together since, well, I've known him since middle school. So we have a long, long history. So that's exciting to, something to celebrate. Every year is another wonderful year with him. Yes, I'm a mom of 3 boys, like you mentioned. Lyle is 8, Hudson is 6, and Macon is 1.5-ish. And honestly, I feel like my identity is just a mom. Like, I feel like everything I do is for them, with them. So we love to be outside. They play sports, baseball, soccer. So we're always running around. But I guess in my spare time, I like to read, hang out by the pool, just being outside, is getting as much sunshine as I can. And then I teach. So I teach at Towson, like you said. So I teach in at the university level. I've been doing that for 5 years, which I love everything about it. Prior to that, I did teach in the classroom. I was a special ed teacher for about 10 years. So teaching has been my career and my life work and passion. So I love what I do. So mom and teacher, I feel like that kind of sums it up. My life right now.
We love it. And I recall that you have been a special education teacher for over like 10 years, right?
So so the field, I'm in the special ed field. So I've taught, in the elementary setting when I was in the classroom. So anywhere from grades 1 through, well, even younger than that, kindergarten through 3rd grade was kind of like my focus. When I taught students with autism, learning disabilities, Down syndrome, you name it. I've probably had a student with, a variety of, disabilities and needs, and it's incredible journey. And now that I get to make an impact on a bigger scale, now that I'm working with interns who are trying to be special educators. So it's a pretty incredible position to be in.
Oh my gosh, you telling me? Yes, it is, because I remember growing up, I was in special education, because of my facial features and a little bit part of my, reading development, but I was always in that, field, and it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It is such a sensitive, field to be in, especially with special education, you're dealing with different syndromes, disabilities, and everything. What made you decide to work in this field?
Like you, I was a student who received services, special education services from a very young age. I mean, I think I started school at like the age of 2 or 3 because I was going through infant and toddlers and just early intervention. And then, I was in smaller class sizes when I was very young to help with me reading. Like, that was a struggle that I had. I went into full cardiac and respiratory arrest as an infant. So I think having gone through that, I think has, impacted my learning development and just different things. And then having surgeries and being out of school a lot, like all of those things really impact how you learn and your ability to be available for learning. And so I was, taught by amazing teachers and therapists who ended up being at my wedding. So I want to I've been surrounded by doctors, nurses, teachers, therapists who helped me to learn and grow and develop and be the best that I could be.
Yeah.
And from a young age, I was the kid in the basement playing school. So I think just that, loving children and working with kids, and
Yeah.
then seeing all these people who had such an impact on me growing up and making me the best that I could be. I
Yeah.
wanted to be the same. I had that innate, like, just wanting to help others be the best that they could be. So I think that really is why I wanted to be a teacher. There's never a doubt in my mind that that was what I wanted to do.
Oh my God, I am so happy we have you as a special education teacher because my next question for you is, what's your favorite aspect of working in this field?
In the field, I think just seeing that children reach those milestones and those small
Right.
achievements or big achievements, I think just working with the kids, I mean, any teacher I think says that it's never about anything but the kids. That's why they do what they do, and that's definitely the same for me. And
Yeah.
seeing them trying to meet their needs and meet them where they're at,
Right.
letting them know that they're loved and they're cared for first and foremost. And then when they're ready to learn and they're available to learn, and kind of being their biggest cheerleader along the way, and being able to be a small part of their journey, and seeing them, like, I have students now that have graduated, high school, college, and it's just incredible to see that I was a small part of that,
Yeah.
making a difference and just maintaining those relationships over the years too. It's been that's definitely my favorite part over
Right.
the
And
years.
you need to have someone in the educational field who can actually relate,
Hmm.
actually
Absolutely.
navigate the system. And
Absolutely.
I remember being in special education classes, and we all had IEPs. Um,
Hmm.
explain to everyone out there what is an IEP. That would be
So
so.
yeah, absolutely. So it's an individualized education program. So it's not necessarily a place or a classroom, but it's just a plan that you develop that is to individually meet that individual child's needs. So you look at the areas where they're strong academically, behaviorally, socially. Um, you look at those areas where they're doing really well, then you look at those areas where they may need more support, and you
Right.
develop goals and make sure they have accommodations and modifications, and all of those things are built into the document. And there's a lot of that goes into it. It's a team of people that really help to develop this document, this legal document, and then but it's really based on the child. You really look at that whole child, the big picture, and how you can support them in their learning and their growth in that 1 year span. And then
Right.
you can reevaluate along the way, but it's definitely every year you come back together as a team and you look at kind of the achievements and the success. And then again, like, where are some areas we can continue to grow, and you kind of develop a plan for that child. But it's a legal document, so it's something that really important to follow. And there's a lot of aspects of it that can be a little tedious and um, a lot to consume. It's a lot of information, but
Mhm.
it's really important for our kids that need that extra support.
Oh my gosh, Erin, I remember like I had so many IEP meetings. I remember like it was
Mhm.
yesterday. Like, um,
Beautiful.
for people that don't know what IEP meetings, so IEP meetings, it's like, an update of how you're doing in the classes. So
Mhm.
I was put in special education, and I had like maybe like one IEP meetings once a month, and we
Mhm.
went over of my progress, how I'm doing overall, how am I, interacting with the children and everything. And I feel
Mhm.
like this is not really talked about enough because I know a lot of kids out there or students out there are still ashamed and don't even like to bring up
Mhm.
IEP.
Yeah,
So
and it's
I love
unfortunate.
exactly, exactly. So I love how you descriptively explain IEPs and everything you're doing because I want to make
Mhm.
light of this because this is an important topic.
And it sounds like you were given the opportunity to learn how to advocate for yourself and just have a voice. And I think it's so important that when you think about individuals with disabilities, whether it's a facial difference or a learning difference,
Right.
that they have the innate ability to learn.
Mm,
Um, Everyone can meet, high expectations that are placed on them if they're given the right support and the people to get them there. And I think the fact that you were a part of your meetings is huge, and that's not always the case, unfortunately, and it should be, because I think everyone has something to contribute, and this document is about the child, about you, about me. Like, you should be a voice in that development and that sharing what's working, what's not working, and having, setting your own goals. So it's really neat that you were a part of that. And I think that has shaped you and who you are now today, to be able to advocate for yourself. So great that you were given that opportunity, and something that should be happening.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. And
Hmm.
how was it when you were in special education? Like, how was it for you, your process, everything?
Yeah, so for me, when I was younger,
Oh,
elementary school, our county has a deaf and hard of hearing program. It's like a regional classroom in the elementary level, the middle school level, and the high school level.
yeah,
So for elementary and middle school, I was a part of that program. And I think if I were to go back to school today, I probably wouldn't be, because the push is for inclusion and like that kind of thing. But I think for me at the time, it was really good,
yeah,
because I had that small class size. I had teachers who were they were specialized in using certain strategies, teaching me certain strategies for, like, I still struggle with math. Like, that is not my strong suit. I don't know how you're doing biology. Like, math and science were never my, so, like, I
yeah,
had the right teachers, and I had a small class. All of that, I think, was so imperative to my, you know, schooling and being able to be successful. And then my first team that I was a part of was in 8th grade, my transition from middle school to high school. And I ended up going to my home school for high school because they
mhm,
felt like I didn't need that small class size anymore. Like, they felt that I could be successful in my community at, close to home. And I just remember being in tears because I was with the same kids for however many years that was. So
mhm.
to leave that sheltered,
Right.
safe environment was scary.
Right.
And then to go into this other school where I had nobody, because it wasn't my home school.
Right.
Um, but honestly, I thrived. I think it pushed me to kind of put myself out there. I had to make friends, and all of those things were really, really hard. And they still can be hard for me
Yeah.
because I think I'm kind of just a shy, quiet kind of person.
Yeah.
But you know, from, I would say, 8th grade on, I was very much involved in the process of, you know, the IEPs and letting them know what was working. I remember having a sign language interpreter that would be with us in our classes. And then when I went to my high school, I had one assigned to just me. And I kind of quickly learned that I didn't really want that. Like, I felt like I didn't need it because
Mhm,
I would advocate for myself. I would sit in the front of the room. I was a big lip reader.
mhm.
Honestly, I think I focused more on that mostly than the interpreter assigning to me.
Right.
So I learned quickly to kind of speak up for myself and let them know what I liked, what I didn't like, what was helpful, what wasn't. And I just had a really good high school experience because of I
Mhm.
had to be pushed out of my comfort zone. And really, for high school, I had an IEP, I think the first year, but after that, I was dismissed from services because I was doing well.
Yeah.
But I think that is because I had all that support leading up to that point,
Yeah.
that got me there.
Yeah. Being out there, getting out your comfort zone, like you said,
Mhm.
really helps you and it changes you
Absolutely.
into a better person. You know,
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
amazing.
It is.
So I know that you are a mother of three. How's that?
It is a lot of work, but so much love, and there's never
Yeah.
a dull moment. I think, having 3 boys especially,
Yeah.
um, they keep us entertained
Oh,
for
tell
sure.
me.
They
I have
do.
3 brothers. Oh my
So,
God.
you know,
Exactly. Oh my God.
how did you?
It's a party in our house every day.
There you go. Yep. So that's how it is here.
Uh,
Yeah, from the moment they wake up to the moment they go to bed, it's always something.
what's
And
their
now
name?
that Lincoln is a part of our family, it's even more like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's no downtime.
Yeah. What's their names?
So Lyle is our
I
oldest.
got
He's
Lyle.
8. Yeah, so he's 8. We
Okay.
call him Lyle Lyle Crocodile.
Oh,
Um, so think about children's books and all of that fun
yeah.
stuff. He is our energetic, funny, like, always trying to entertain everyone,
Yeah.
very athletic. He's that child.
Yeah.
Then our middle child is Hudson. He's 6. And he's our very book smart, he's not your typical middle child. He's very much like our easy one. He's
Really?
very sweet, very quiet, very like he's just a good boy. I wouldn't trade him for anything, none of them, but he is just I can count on him to make things easy.
Yeah.
And then our youngest was our, kind of, I would say, surprise child. We were kind of playing around with the idea of having another one, and it happened. And he keeps us on our toes. He's very strong-willed. He's funny, into everything. He is the best. He's 21 months, so he's at the age where he's just naughty, but it's cute because he's not trying to be. You know what I mean? He's getting into things and doing things, but it's a fun age to be at because it's all just him trying to learn the world around him.
Yeah.
Curious and breathe on as can be, though.
Just observing everything. Right. Observing everything. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
So happy for you. Oh my God. You're truly blessed. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. I am. I know I am. I think about it every day.
So I
How
know,
blessed I am.
yes. So I know that you have a son that has the same syndrome as you.
I do. I
So
do.
how's that been? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How's that?
It's been a journey. Like so we've been through a lot in our just being a mom and dad, trying to have children. Like from the beginning, we struggled and had to do IVF and we didn't know. We
Mhm.
been through a lot. And then when we had Macon, I knew like something was different. Like when I was pregnant with him, I just knew.
Yeah.
The doctors could never, we had ultrasound after ultrasound. I never did any of the tests. I just didn't, it wasn't going to change anything. Um, it was never did they say definitively that he had it. But
Yeah.
I knew in my heart and my gut that he had it.
Yeah.
Um, it's definitely, so he has Treacher, I never even said this at the beginning, but I have Treacher Collins syndrome, and he does too. So we have a 50-50 chance. I have a 50-50 chance of passing it down to my children. My older two don't have it. My youngest does. And your question was, how's it been raising him? And from the moment he was born, even before he was born, I knew, and I just had that protective instinct from like day one. I want to cry talking about it. Um,
Yeah.
he,
Yeah. Take your
he's
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's a gift to this world and to our family, and he is a perfect fit. And he, oh, when he was born, he was also born with a cleft palate. So that was new because I didn't have that. So I think our biggest challenges when he was born was trying to get him to eat and breathe because of our small airway that we're known to have. And, he was in the NICU for, I believe, like 2 to 3 weeks. And we were really trying to push the feeding, but he just wasn't taking in the volume that he needed. And it was a struggle. So he was in the hospital and also in a feeding program at a local Kennedy Krieger Institute, in a feeding clinic for the first 4 weeks of his life. And that was probably the hardest journey, in the sense that I couldn't be there with all my boys at the same time. So I like having to leave one of them was really hard. I think as a mom, just wanting to protect him, he's beautiful. Everyone, we are blessed with a community around us that has loved me and our family and Macon from day one. That they meet us. So I've never been worried about long-term future because I feel like we're on this journey together. I've gotten through it. Good days, bad days, he's gonna have them. As a mom, I just want him to be happy and healthy, and just like my other two. And he's already had 3 surgeries, and so those were really hard. And especially the very first one, it was really hard going into it. Like we all know the kind of the PTSD that we have after having surgeries. And when he was going in, I would have given anything to trade places with him. Just that feeling of that pit in your stomach. You're hungry because you don't want to. You can't eat. As a mom, I didn't want to eat because it was just a lot to emotionally process. From the moment he was born to having a surgery to now as a toddler running around trying to keep up with him. That's the easy part of being his mom. Sorry, I know that was a lot.
I love this. I love when my guests are so comfortable and just, just let it out and just speak to it. I just love it. But I just think that's just such an amazing, for him to have you as a mother it's just so I don't even know how to describe it, I'm lost with words. It's just
well, and I hope that it helps him in his journey, but I also know that our journeys in some ways are similar and in some ways are going to be very, very different. And I never want him to feel like because my mom went through this is how I have, you know what I mean? Like I don't want my journey to be his. And at the same time, like he has so many people in our community, in the craniofacial community to look up to. So it's not just me, he has a whole village of people where we live, but also just all over the place because of CCA that we're so lucky to have. And he will find his way. He'll figure it out. He'll have some rough roads like we all do, moments. But he'll be okay because he has a lot of people to look up to and to help him in the journey.
Guys, we all got him. Guys, he is, oh my gosh. Like you said, we all have our journey, we all have our past, we all have ups and downs, but we always find our way out,
Yeah.
How I was just about 2 years ago, I did not, I couldn't find myself. I was so lost. Did not know, like wasn't confident in myself, didn't know, why, I was here, what was my purpose, and all of that. And that was just 2 years ago. And it's crazy, I finally, find my personality, it takes time, we all take our time, it's our journey, it's just know Mason's gonna have the best experience because I know he definitely is going to rely on you for, majority of stuff. So it's like you're gonna be like such a big influence like, to him. Like, yeah, of course you are. And it makes me so happy to just be able to talk to you about this and just,
it's such a unique journey as being a mom with a difference of boys who have a difference and then who don't, and just trying to navigate all of that because want my older two to feel, I don't know the word to even say, like
I know what you're trying to say. I'm trying to think of a word too. I'm like
not like resentful, but feel like they're missing out. I don't want them to ever feel embarrassed that they have a mom or a brother who have a difference, and they haven't. Thank God, thank goodness. And my job as a mom and then someone, I feel an obligation to educate others, and I think that just comes from my wanting to be a teacher and just then having a difference. And I think so much of what the issues that we deal with, bullying, whatever it may be, is because they don't know any better. Kids don't know. They haven't been they've never met someone with a difference, or they haven't been taught how to approach someone who is different or what words to say. And so I go to their school and I talk to their classes at the beginning of every school year, and I give them the book Wonder. We're all wonders, and I share our story and our family, and it's something that next week I get to do at another school, and I feel an obligation to do that, and I think they see me doing that, and I think it helps so they know I want the best for them. Because I don't want them to field a million questions of why their mom looks different, why their brother looks different. I want to help. But I never want them to feel like they're not important or worthy, or their journey is just as special and they're unique in their own ways. So it's a very interesting journey to be on, to be a mom with a difference, and then having both children with and without.
Erin, I'm gonna tell you a little story. So I express this to many interviews, but I'm the only one in my family that has a facial difference.
Mhm.
So I think around like a year ago, I started talking to my brothers, and I asked them one individually at a certain time. I was like, "Oh, like when did you notice I had a difference, or when did you, think did you
Right.
ever different of me or anything?" And Erin, you want to know their response? You have a difference?
We'll see. And I think, yep.
So like I don't want you to worry so much about your son.
Mhm.
Like, if they think, different, just being around, your children being around each other and just, playing, laughing, just growing up together, they're
Mhm.
not going to see no differences at all. Because I was expecting them to think different of me. And they're like, no, there's no different. What's wrong with you?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with
Yep.
you, you know?
Yep. And I feel like I already see that in my older two, that they feel that way, like just because they go about their life like it's
Yeah.
normal, and they are the kindest,
Yeah.
sweetest boys, and they're wild, but
Yeah.
they will make a friend with anybody they meet, and that just makes my heart so happy. That's all I want and for them, is to be kind, and they are. And I know that they will grow up to be accepting of all kinds of people, and that just makes me so happy.
Right. That's the biggest blessing. That's why I always say that all the time. Like, having siblings, it's like I like myself, I teach them a huge lesson that everyone
Mhm.
different is
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yep.
And they just could go out in life and now they already have experience, living with someone who has a facial difference or anything with a
Yeah.
disability or anything. They know how to like, react, if that makes sense,
Mhm.
and to
Mhm.
how to, go about it, just live life,
Right.
you know.
Mhm.
That's
Exactly.
like that's like so important, that and that's
Mhm.
what we need in society because we lack that today. People
We
don't know
do.
how to, work with people like us
Mhm.
or interact, which is sad,
It
to
is
say.
tough. Yeah.
Right. So
So hard.
this is amazing, feeling, and it's amazing to know that we have people that, will understand, such as my brothers, and will help,
Yeah.
maybe, if they ever, interact with someone who has a facial difference or a disability, they will know what to do.
Yeah.
So,
And I feel like just by that alone, they teach others around them the same thing. I feel like it's a wildfire. Like it spreads, like
right.
kindness and acceptance. And if you see one person knowing how to do it the
Exactly.
right way, it kind of they learn from watching others. Um, so that's amazing. I love hearing your story of you and your brothers, and I hope that my kids kind of follow, and think they will. I think they will.
I love hearing your story. Thank you for opening up. Oh my gosh. I
Of course.
I cannot wait to see your children grow up and prosper, especially Mason. He's going to do amazing in life.
Thank you.
Like you
Thank
said,
you.
our community, we got you, we got him, we got your whole community. So, oh, you're gonna
Thank
let me cry.
you. You made me cry. Oh, so we're very fortunate, and we have something that not a lot of other people have, and it's incredible. It's really incredible.
Yeah, it is. My question is, I noticed you've been associated with us, CCA, for quite some time. How long have you been with us?
So
If you don't
it's such a neat story to tell, because our family has been a part of CCA since its origination.
know.
Um, my my mom's a lot better at telling this story because I was literally like 3, I think, at the time. I don't know. Um, but they were invited. I think they were in Cher's hotel room. The singer spokesperson for CCA. Um, and it was a group of moms that were invited to come, and I think our surgeon kind of told my mom about the organization, and kind of so they were in this hotel room talking with Cher about how neat it would be to have a retreat or a way to like for families to connect, um, year after year, and just to develop those relationships. Back then, they didn't have the support system that the resources and the that you have today. So my mom was part of that conversation, and so we've been around since the beginning. We obviously with surgeries and financial obligate like things like that. Our presence kind of flowed in and out just based on what was going on from year to year, but CCA has always been a family to us from pretty much day one. So it's pretty neat to see how much it has grown and how they touch so many lives. And it gets me emotional when we come to the retreat. We've been able to come the last 5 or 6 years consistently, and it's been incredible to just see.
Yeah.
And I get emotional thinking about it and seeing it, and I try to take it in every year just to see how many families now are touched by CCA. And when you go to the retreat, it's only a fraction of I know what they do every day, being a nonprofit that supports all kinds of families from all walks of life, from all over the world and our country. And it's just really neat to see the work that they do and to know that I've been able to witness from this small group of moms and families to, what they do today is pretty incredible. And they're a gift. And
Yeah.
we've
Mhm.
developed lifelong friendships because of CCA. It's
Yeah.
pretty incredible. It's really special to us. Yay.
Wow. I forgot we were in an interview. Oh my god.
It was truly a conversation.
Exactly.
Keep talking.
So how is it working at Towson University, teaching or helping other interns, working in the special education field?
I love it, and I don't know when I'll ever leave because I just love it so much. I went to Towson as a student, and I was in the special education department. I got my bachelor's in special ed, and I went back there to get my master's and additional certifications, and to come full circle to be in the department that taught me so much of what I know and kind of shaped and molded me to be this teacher that I am, and to come back and to be a part of the faculty that many of them were my own professors and teachers. And it's such a neat experience to be among people who are so passionate about the work. And so I get to lecture. So I teach on campus, usually classes like Introduction to Special Ed or different kinds of courses where I teach others about disabilities. Some of them are education classes and some are like intro level where I get all kinds of people coming in to take the class. So to have an impact in that way in the classroom is pretty incredible because I get to share my story, and it's kind of like it usually kind of teaches them that you don't presume competence. All individuals have the innate ability to learn and grow and succeed. You just need people to believe in you, and they need people who know how to support them in the ways that they need, support. And then, so part of my work is teaching in the classroom at the university, and part of my work is supervising interns that are going into the field. So I get to go into the schools. So I miss being in the classroom with little ones, but that kind of fills the void a little bit. I think eventually I'll go back to the classroom, but right now I love what I do because I feel like I can make a bigger impact. I get to be the one that helps to shape these future educators, kind of teach them the importance of presuming competence, and kind of just that passion needs to come through in your work. And I think it all comes from building that rapport and getting to know your students and building those relationships. So in my classroom, we do a lot of like just community circles where we sit and kind of get to know each other, and we have fun and we build those relationships, and then we learn the content. So there's two parts to it, and I really make sure that what I do in the classroom translates into their classrooms, and it's such important work, and I feel blessed to be able to do it, and I love every minute of it.
Yeah. You know what I was just thinking when you were just talking now? It's like, I remember you said you were shy, but it's like your position, you have to speak in front of people. And it's
I
like,
do. And I get butterflies every time. I get the butterflies for like the first 5 minutes, and then somehow I walk away. And I think because I take that time to get to know them, and I'm not one to stand at the podium and talk. I hate that. So a lot of what I do is I'll do my lecture for 10, 15 minutes, and then we do a lot of group work or activities where they have to kind of talk amongst themselves, and they're doing the work. They're not just hearing about it. They're actually learning how to look through an IEP and look through different parts and what it means, or they try to do this strategy and they do multi-sensory learning where they are teaching a child how to read by using multisensory strategy. I don't know. So a lot of what I do is very hands-on. So I don't like to be at the front of the classroom talking, and I don't think anybody does. Like
Right.
I, as a student, didn't want to hear a lecture for 3 hours. I wanted to be up and doing stuff. So I think that helps.
You know what? It's truly incredible because I'm just like trying to relate me and your stories. You know, we're like we're both shy. We both have facial differences. You know, we don't like talking in front of people. But like, what are we doing right now?
Right. I know. I feel like you gotta get in that mindset. Like it's a conversation. It's just a friend talking to a friend. Like, so I don't know. You somehow get in that space.
Yeah, it just amazes me, and it makes me feel like so accomplished. Like we really like I don't even know, like we are out here speaking and telling our story and making it impact. And it's crazy because we were so observant and didn't even want to talk to anybody, just didn't even want to show our face or anything. And now we're just out here thriving, and that's so like I just love that, and I just love how we're like talking about it and showing others that people like us, we can do anything as well.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see your story continue and to hear your aspirations. You're going to be an amazing doctor one day, and I'm so excited to hear about it and see it play out. And any family that goes to you will be so incredibly lucky. So continue to work hard and chase your dreams because you have big ones, and I'm excited for you.
Thank you. I know you impacted a lot of kids in your life, being a special educator. So I thank you as well, because like I said many times, it takes a lot for someone to work in a special education field, because you can't just go in there and just do anything. It's a certain way you have to do it. So I thank you, hands down to you. You are amazing, really.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you.
to end this interview, my last question I like to end off is, if you had a chance to speak to your younger self now, what would you say?
That's such a tough one. I feel like we've already said this several times, just how shy we were, how we kind of had our ups and downs in life. And for me, like I and I'm sure many others go through this, where am I ever going to fall in love? Am I ever going to like achieve being a doctor, a teacher, like my dreams of, an aspiration? Am I ever going to have a family? And those were all. And I went through a couple of years like you. My first 2 years of college were probably the hardest. I went through pretty deep depression and some things that were really hard. So I think if I could tell my younger self anything, it would be that it gets better. You keep at it. I have always, and I still do, worry about what others think of me. But I think I worry a little less than I did when I was younger. So I think 2 things would be to worry less and to it gets better. Like keep at it. Good things do come.
Yeah.
And everyone has a soulmate. Everyone has a journey that if you want it, you can achieve it. So I think just kind of remembering those 2 things, to have confidence and keep pushing, and it gets better, and the good things are coming, and not to worry what others think. And it's still something I'm working on. That'll be the 90-year-old me who like doesn't care what others think, telling my 30-year-old self not to. It's such a, I don't know. It's a loaded question. That's a tough one. I feel like there's a lot of things.
I know.
And I'm still learning and growing, even as an adult, as a mom, as a career, someone who has a profession and a career. Like, there's still things I need to work on and do differently. And every day is a work in the right direction, step in, growing and being, like you said, your authentic self. It's hard some days, but
it really is. But every time I look at you, you make oh my god, I'm gonna cry. It's like, like you said, like you mentioned, we all go through these struggles, we always say, are we gonna find love? Are we gonna get married? And I look at you, I'm like, she did it. I'm like,
I did it. And I am still. hard
exactly.
to believe sometimes, but I know like I'm a good person. I have a
Yeah,
good personality, and I found someone who loves me for who I
yeah,
am. And we have three beautiful boys that one day they will love someone for who they are. And you know, I feel like I get asked a lot, like, how did you meet Kevin and how my husband and how did you and it just happened. I don't know, like I don't know what it's like to have to put myself out there because it just happened, and I'm just so thankful every day that it did, and I hope and wish for others to be able to feel the
yes,
same.
yes, yeah. Because like I'm like, oh my gosh, like there was many times in my life I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm never gonna find someone that's gonna accept me or love me for who I am. And I'm looking at you, I'm like, oh my gosh, like there
No.
are people that are accepting and can look past through, differences and just, get to know you for you.
Mm-hmm.
You are just being here and just telling your story, to me and to like other people that are watching, are going to watch this, is going to make a huge impact because they also have a representation of someone who has a facial difference. She's just living her life right now, has a beautiful family, amazing job, and it's just being, just being you,
Thank
and that's
you.
about it. But,
Okay, and I'm still working on loving myself, and I feel like that's kind of the cheesy saying too. Like you gotta love yourself before others can love you, and I think that's true to an extent. But I'm still working on that too. So it's not like
yeah,
I have this beautiful family and I have a career, but there's days where I still struggle with the way I look, and
yeah,
you
everyone
know,
got
so it's always going to be, I'm sure, because everybody does, you
everyone,
know.
everyone's there.
So
Yeah. Thank you so much, Erin, for
thank you, Leah.
chatting with me. It's been a
Of
pleasure.
course, it has. I thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah,
I'm
and
so grateful.
thank you for opening up and just being genuine with me, because like that's what I really love, and just having like a good one-on-one conversation and just
Mhm.
just talking,
Yes.
someone
Of
who
course. Thank you for making me feel comfortable enough to do that. That says a lot about you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I love hearing that. Oh my gosh, because I'm like always shy. I'm like, oh, but
Yeah.
I
So
love
you helped. You helped.
thank you.
I
Um,
wish you all the best and hopefully you get a break for the summer. I wish you all the best in all that you do, and I can't wait to meet you in a few weeks.
oh my God, I know. I have one more question. If our
Sure,
audience
yeah.
our audience wants to learn more about you, where can they follow you on social media, or can they like, oh,
Absolutely. So you can follow me on social media. I have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok is a little like I'm not quite as versed in TikTok, but I'm on all of those, and you can email me. I don't know if you can put out an email address, but you can do that too. I'd be happy to
yes.
call me, text me, any of it. I'm happy to be there for anyone that needs someone to talk to and who would want to reach out.
We appreciate you sharing your time with us again, Erin, and I look forward
Thank
to chatting with
you.
you again in the
Thank
future.
you.
Retreat,
Sounds good. Yeah. Thank you, Leah.
of course, of course. I had a great time.